Hey, good morning, everybody here watching live on March 11th. Can you believe we're almost in the middle of March? And yes, it is spring market. We are in full-fledged spring market, even though I believe spring isn't officially here in Edmonton. We've had some warmer weather, and we've also had a little bit of snow yesterday. So that was fun. I just want to make sure the sound is good for you guys. So in this video today, I'm going to do our regular update where we talk about what's happening in the Edmonton real estate market, but I'm also going to talk to you about if you're a family considering moving to Edmonton, what are the areas that you should be considering and some things to consider. We're going to talk a little bit about a neighborhood that I'm filming a video about later today that we will be putting live specifically about Edmonton's hottest neighborhood from the last 12 months. So let's dive in and take a look at the number of active listings. So currently there are 1,596 listings. So we are going up in number, which is not a cause for concern. It's actually a good thing for both buyers and sellers. Because when you have so little inventory, it's not a great market, even if you are a seller. What we're seeing is as a seller, you can try to aggressively price your home. When I say aggressively price, I mean overprice your home. It will still have a higher chance of selling in this market than it would a typical market, but it still is probably not going to sell at the price that you want. Buyers are not ready to just overpay at the start. If they are competing in a multiple offer situation, that's when they would be willing to overpay, but they're not going to be willing to overpay when it's just themselves looking at the house. So that's something to consider. And so as you see these listing numbers increase, with this, so there's okay. So Sherwood Park and Spruce Grove didn't go up, but the difference between those areas is that they're smaller, so they don't have as much properties for sale to begin with. Anyways, in Edmonton, you saw the numbers increase the last couple weeks, and that's a good thing because we're still really low. We're under 2,000 single family listings at 1,596. That is not something that's even close. 2,000 listings for single family is still, for the most part, a seller's market. We won't see balanced probably until we're like 3,500 to 4,000. That's more balanced. And then anything over that is then what's called a buyer's market. So if you've been following my updates since I've been doing this the last few years, 4 years, I think, actually 5 years, we have not ever seen a buyer's market when I've been doing these videos. So we have been sitting in the balanced or sellers, and we've been primarily sitting in a seller's market where there's a lot of properties for sale. Now, if we take a look at the pending sales in Edmonton, this is how many deals went into contract this last week. You saw the number jump up to 230. And this is what I was suspecting, is that we are going to start to see the number go upwards of, because we've been sitting in the mid hundreds for quite some time, which is normal for the winter months. And that's actually still pretty strong. Granted, if you compare to last year, we'll see that it's not that strong because we still had higher sales last year. Now the rates are lower than they were last year, and yet we still had higher sales. So if you're thinking I'm going to wait to buy until the rates dropped, the majority of people didn't think the same thing, and they ended up buying last year. So if you take a look at the solds in terms of what has conditions have been removed, you're seeing 184 and then in Edmonton, and next week we'll probably see over 200 that have conditions removed because of the numbers that just went up for pending sales. So you can see that the numbers are in the position that they need to be. And if you want to take a look at last year, I'm pretty sure we are a little bit lower this year than we were last year, but we'll see. 184, yeah. So you see how we were at 293 last year, about 100 units different per week, right? This is not per month. Sorry, this is constantly moving, probably because I'm touching my desk. And so it is important to understand that last year circumstances were higher interest rates. We had a little bit more options as well, and we had higher sales. But yet this year we have lower sales, lower interest rates, but the properties aren't moving. So you're probably wondering as a seller, well, wouldn't I be able to overprice my listing? Can't I try a really high price? Well, you can try all you want, but at the end of the day, we're not in COVID times where people were just paying and they weren't quite thoroughly thinking through things, whereas now people are willing to wait. Now, if as a buyer, if you're willing to wait, you have to understand, are you waiting for realistic, or are you waiting for something that the price was 4 years ago? Because we're seeing the flip side where buyers are thinking that the houses should be lower and they'll just wait. But prices have gone up in the last year by quite a bit. They've gone up at least 10%. So if you started looking a year ago and you're like, I'm just going to wait till the rates drop, which they did now, the house prices did go up. Now, there were a lot of things that were out there in social media last year talking about this exact thing, where it was like, if you buy now versus waiting until the rates drop, here's the difference in price. And that's exactly what's happened. People are still saying the same thing. And if you haven't noticed, that is something that people just say all the time. Like, I'll just wait till the rates drop, or I'll just wait till the prices drop. You have to look at your situation as to what you're doing. Why are you moving? You shouldn't be moving just because the rates are lower. You shouldn't be moving just because the house prices are cheaper. Because guess what? There's people that have moved here from out of province, realize that maybe they can't hack the winter and there's no reason to be here other than the are cheap. Now, there are families that move here to start off a better life because they can have a full home. They can have their kids in extracurricular activities and still be able to put food on the table. That's important to really understand why you're moving here. Now, if you're looking as a family and you're wondering, what area should I move into? I'm going to show you the one of the hottest areas. And if you live in Edmonton and you live here, maybe it's a good thing for you to see. So we looked up the last 12 months, where are the most amount of sales in Edmonton in single family homes? And it was, drum roll, can you guess? If you put in the comments, can you guess what neighborhood it would be? No one's going to guess. Okay, without further ado, it is, with 320 sales in the last year, it's Chappelle. So in my video that I'm recording, I'm talking about the neighborhood specifically, what all is happening in Chappelle, all the different price ranges, but I'll give you a sneak peek right now. So in this, I just went back to see what's active, what can you buy right now in Chappelle? And it ranges anywhere from 400,000 all the way to 1.399. So this is what you can buy in single family in Chappelle. The lowest prices in the 400s, and these are the townhouses that are attached with no condo fees. Brand new to the market is 400, which is probably not going to last very long. And then it's going to go, this is the houses like with land. I don't know if this actually has a garage. Let's take a look. 1,400 square feet, built in 2011, unfinished basement. Yeah, no garage. Because if you're looking at a garage, it's a little bit higher in price. Let's see which one has a garage. This one is a fully finished basement and a garage, and it's asking very similar price. So they've been sitting on the market for 54 days, 56 days, probably priced too high because the market doesn't want to pay that. So this is what I'm saying. You can't just get whatever you want. The market is going to wait. So sometimes when you do that, you end up selling it potentially for less if you started a little bit on the lower side and pushed upwards. Now, this is a strategy for, I would say, majority of the price point. As soon as you get over 900,000, that's a whole different pricing strategy altogether. We can't play that same game as the 4 to 800 range. So just be mindful when you're looking at listing your house if you have a place in Chappelle. Now, active prices is not what you can get for the house price. Sold prices is what you need to be looking at. This is just what's for sale. So in case you're a buyer wanting to get into Chappelle, this is the price ranges that are available. You can see the days on market is also important to note. And you can see for some reason this house went up in price. I'm not sure what that's all about because they've been listed for such a long time. So sometimes what happens is people get this, hey, it's spring market, I should get more for my house, let's raise the price. But if you've been on the market for 95 days and you couldn't sell it, increasing your price isn't going to help you sell your home. That's just a hack, a professional tip, which I'm sure is not actually that brain mind blowing. So take a look at these houses. You can see a lot of homes in the 500 range. So if you are listing your home in the 500 range, you're competing with a lot of people. And the majority of homes that sell the fastest in Edmonton are the 4 to 5, and then 5 to 6 is right behind it. So important for you to understand that. Other things to think about when you're looking to move to Edmonton is proximity to schools. Now, this is something that a lot of people coming from out of province want to have. They have this idea of, let's move close to this school, and then my kids could walk. You're going to want to check out the Edmonton Public and the Edmonton Catholic School Board in terms of how they allow kids in schools, because it's not necessarily that you live in that neighborhood. So, for example, Secord's another hot neighborhood, and they have a lottery system right now with their school. Now, it changes it year to year, so you want to double check your the schools to see what their criteria is, but it's very likely that you're going to have to drive your kids to school or walk with them to school, or them having a yellow school bus. Most schools do have yellow school buses for elementary school, and then junior high and high school, usually not. High school for sure, not. Um, so that's something to consider when you're looking at schools, is if that's really important to you, make sure you look at the schools first, and then look at the areas that those schools allow, and then see what's there. So you probably know your price point after talking to a mortgage broker, and now you know your location. Now see what kind of house you get. You don't really get to come to the table and say, I want this kind of house, this price point, and this area, because that actually might not exist in Edmonton. We don't have the same types of homes that people do. In Calgary, it's laid out differently than Edmonton. In Toronto, Vancouver, we're laid out all differently. There's single family homes, there's apartments, there's townhouses, there's so many different variables that you need to do. And that's why it's important to work with an agent who knows the area and understands all those things, understands your needs, and puts those together. I'm going to put some questions up. So if you're watching and you want to be interacting, make sure to pop up on some questions, because I have some right now. How much for building a standard garage in Edmonton nowadays? What a great question. Ever since the prices went up back in 5 years ago during COVID and the prices went through the roof, I don't even know anymore. And it's best for you to double check that. I would say $30,000 is safe. Now, this is not including cement pad. So a lot of these homes have the cement pad. If the cement pads are not there, you have quite a bit higher price. I don't know how much the cement pad would cost. Most new builders do include the cement pad. And if you're building the garage yourself and you're going to like Home Depot to buy the garage package, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go online and check the Home Depot garage package. That price point is going to be different than hiring out somebody to do the work for you, because obviously when they do the work for you, they have to charge labor. So in some builders, I've realized that they used to be like more expensive to build through the builder, but in some situations it's actually cheaper, because I think I've seen some builders offer it for 18 grand at one point and 25, which is actually still cheaper, and it goes into your like mortgage. So just at Home Depot garage package. See if I can find something here. This is interesting. I'm going to share my screen. So you can see here, that's the single, like this tiny little garage. That's not a double garage. A normal garage, by the way, is 20 by 20 is the smallest, and then 22 by 20. So these are quite a bit smaller. That's not what you're looking for. These are doors. So maybe they don't sell the packages anymore, because these are big canopies, not the package I was talking about. These are so tiny. These are like some of these townhouses, actually, all you can do is buy these smaller garages. But this is not the size. Don't use these pricings, because that's the wrong gauge. I'm going to go check Costco and see if they have a garage package. Here's our Alberta Garage Builders. That's not a garage package. So these are the people that build packages for you. So you can kind of go into here and see the 1-car, 2-car garage packages. And you can see, get a quote, because it's going to vary between what your vinyl exterior is going to be. Are you doing an extra door here? Are you doing just a window, no windows? Like there's so many different variables when it comes to that. So hopefully that helps. I have another request. Neighborhood of Patricia Heights. What kind of homes are in the area, and what is the general price point? So Patricia Heights is an older neighborhood in Edmonton, and I will bring up Patricia Heights for you to just quickly show you what the area you can get for sale. But I can do another report another time. There's only 3 houses for sale. This area is actually really hard to get into. It's one of those older neighborhoods. I'm going to show you on the map as well. It's closer to the river valley, so, and good school as well. Let's just go in here. So in the map here, you can see Patricia Heights School is here. Let's just zoom out. It's a smaller area, so it's just a small little pocket here, exclusive to the river valley, and that's why it's also more expensive. The white mud is here, so depending on where you're living, like if you're living here, you're backing onto it. You're probably likely going to hear the white mud because it's quite loud. And depending, some of those, that area is kind of hilly, so if you're on the lower side, you shouldn't be able to hear it too much. There's a off leash park here. And so you can see how small this is, and it's right beside Rio Terrace. So these homes are older. They're built in the 60s. I don't even know if there's 50s, 60s, 70s. I'm just going to show you like what you can get. So 849 to 1.99 to 2.1. It is not a very, it's not an entry level area. A lot of people want to move into this area. This house is $2.1 million. And you can see the type of home. So this house has been done. So like in this neighborhood, you will see homes that have been renovated. And especially you can see backing onto the river valley, more money has been spent here to update the homes, and they're newer. They could be infills, or they could be knocked down homes and then rebuilt, or they could be completely gutted, renovated homes to be that size. So this neighborhood does have a lot of those homes, but you can see there's not a whole lot of homes in here because it's like an older area. So that's something to consider. It is a great area to live in. And in terms of the sold prices, I'll just quickly show it to you before this end. If there's anyone else watching that has questions, please go ahead and ask. And just so you know, next week I will not be here. I'm going to be out of town. So you'll tune in 2 weeks from now, and then I'll be back. So the average price that have sold in the last 6 months is actually $542,000 because of that, what's actually sold. Now, it doesn't mean that's what the area is worth, but 806 is the highest price point, and that was on the market 7 days. So it was priced where it needed to be to move quickly. And then you can see this house sold in 1 day, so 375,000. So there's now. You're probably wondering, what do you get? This is on 159th Street, which is a main road, and it looks like it's ready to be redone. So it was like almost we started this project and then we stopped. So I don't know what happened there. That might have been a foreclosure. And then these all the greens, I mean, they sold over list, and then these 3 sold under list. But only 7 properties sold in 6 months. It doesn't mean that things aren't selling in there. It just means that it's, when they come up, they're gone, and they don't come up very often. So a lot of people end up waiting to get into that area. Now, if you're looking at amenities, we talked a little bit about the dog park there. There's also the River Valley, which is a big one, and you're close to the Rio Terrace park as well. This is Rio Terrace. So there's playgrounds here with the school. Both schools have them, Patricia Heights School. And the Wolf Willow stairs. So if you're taking the River Valley, you can actually get to Wolf Willow and go up the stairs there. And when you're driving, you can't actually drive there. You have to go this way onto here to get in here. So you can actually by foot get there faster. And then for groceries and whatnot, you'd be probably in the Linwood area. There's an area of Meadowlark right here, this yellow spot, that has, I think it's Walmart, Shoppers Drug Mart. This 87th Ave is going to be where they're building the LRT system right now. And then West Edmonton Mall's right there from Patricia Heights. So it's really close. And then if you're wanting to go to the south side, you're on the white mud. So then it goes all the way down. This is the south side right here. And then if you're looking down to go to the airport, that's down this direction. Downtown is this way. You are proximity wise close to downtown, but when it comes to traffic, you got to be aware, because traffic can take you just as long to get to downtown, just as long, even if you're further away, based on what's going on with traffic at that time. So hopefully that helped. Secord. So I'm going to go back to this question. So Secord has HOA in certain pockets. So I don't have time today to go into Secord, but if you take a look at my YouTube channel, there are a few videos on Secord that you can watch, and it goes into massive detail about what Secord is all about. But each pocket, there's certain pockets that have HOA and certain that don't. The older areas don't have HOA, the newer areas do. Secord is right beside Rosenthal, and the rec center is actually in between the two areas. The area has developed quite a bit, Be careful with the area of Secord that you're looking to move into, because some area is a little bit more crime ridden than others. And if you're talking about crime, just take a look at the Edmonton Police Crime Map and you'll be able to see the whole city of Edmonton. Yes, I know that there's crime everywhere, and I don't need to see the negative comments about crime in Edmonton because every city has it. And if that's something you don't like, then you just won't move here. So hopefully that helps to you guys today, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.